Fuck, I love that jingle.
Good morning, revision. Good morning, dojo.
Good morning, D.Fox. How are you?
I am
Dead
barely.
inside.
I'm barely. This is representing of what I am. I am all of the 9 currently. So
Well,
yeah,
it's good we have caffeinated drinks.
Do you really like clink with coffee? Well, we do now.
We now do.
So yesterday, that was
A day.
a day with a lot of content, a lot of amazing content.
You could say it was jam-packed. Oh wait, I did that
You
yesterday.
did this yesterday. So yeah, maybe we do a short recap, and we have so
Yep.
many things today. It's
like
I don't know if you
it's
can
another
see it. This is
screen
another
full
page.
of stuff.
Yeah, and it's just like what's the word? Topics. Like it's not
Topic things.
detailed.
Agenda
It's just,
points.
talking points for our meeting.
We're on a tight agenda. Please hurry up, sir.
The shareholders demand a report. Yeah. So yeah, yesterday boatload of compos.
Yep.
Do you remember
Anything-
anything? Do you have a favorite entry or something? A favorite compo?
I have one thing. Actually, I guess I have a favorite entry, and it's Line Rider. 256, 256 bytes. Great music. Best
Yeah.
music, best chords I've heard in the 256 bytes ever. All, and the visuals were mwah.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome. I remember one of my favorite things was the last entry in the track music. The 6-channel, I forgot, is it Liquid?
Oh, yeah, it was
Yeah?
Liquid.
Liquid,
That was-
yeah. I mean, just watching the pattern, that was really
And it
awesome. It was jam-packed. I mean,
Absolutely, yeah.
but
There you go
there was
again,
no
but-
space in that pattern left
Yeah.
in any of the 6 tracks. Yeah.
And I love how it was interesting to watch the patterns without it being a demo in a demo in a tracker. It's more of just like using the tracker for what it's made for and using all those loops and delays and tempo changes and whatnot. And
I
so
love
great.
this. That's something that stuck in my head. But yeah, too many entries to talk about. We had a compo studio yesterday with Frankie, Luguber, and Truck, and I think they covered a lot of those
And
special entries. Yeah,
I was gonna say some bearded guy crashed the party, but
that's spook.
I think there was only one guy in there that was not bearded.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Or barely bearded. So what else did we have yesterday? We had the Shader Showdown semi-finals and finals with pretty awesome stuff, and Evil won and redeemed himself from last year's defeat, bitter defeat.
Did
It
you
was
say
bitter defeat last year. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that felt very good. Yeah.
yeah, he was super happy about that.
Yeah. So I'm getting fed some info. The 5K run, we had 49 people running, or at least registering, and the fastest time was 20 minutes 33 seconds. That's pretty fast.
Oh,
That's pretty fast.
that
I
is
think the
impressive.
fastest I have ever did a 5K was not.
you did finish.
I did finish.
You came in super last, but you
super last.
prevailed.
Yeah, it was probably an hour and 2 hours.
Crawling back to the.
Yeah. So yeah, 5K. Then you already mentioned the jam word. We had that yesterday.
Beautiful concert.
Yeah,
And what else? Shader Showdown.
we covered this already. You're not awake yet.
Damn.
Can we reboot Dojo? Hello, production. Can we reboot Dojo? I would suggest to slap you. Here you go.
Oh,
So yeah, Shader Showdown.
good morning, peeps.
Yeah, and yeah, we had some DJ stuff going on. We had Luguber with a kick-ass set and awesome visuals.
We also had Mac
Mac.
with another kick-ass set, accompanied by
More
accompanied
visuals.
by a billion gifs on the Discord.
Oh, that was pretty cool. Yeah, the gift party on Discord is just amazing all
Yes,
the time.
it's-
Yeah,
oh, lovely.
it's just an endless wall of joy, basically.
Yeah, and I didn't have a chance to actually listen, but judging by the comments in the gift party, it must have been super intense and really driving and banging.
Okay.
So I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out afterwards.
Yeah. Okay, I'm getting old. I need to look at it like this. Yeah, what is going to happen today? We have a little panel discussion in about 10 minutes. We have people joining us from the Portuguese Lisbon satellite and from the
Honk.
US.
Honk.
Honk?
Geese. Honk.
Portuguese. I see what it there. And I don't approve. So yeah, we had a panel discussion about demo party as a service. Basically, the thing we're trying here this year with the satellites, and we're just gonna throw around some ideas and questions if it is something that is worth redoing, pursuing. Is it something that is an option for if there is more pandemic, more wars, more anything, or if it's just like an idea that is interesting. So,
figure out the implications. What does it mean? How does it work for people in general?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be interesting, hopefully. And then we have an AMA.
Yep. Ask me anything session.
Yeah, ask Dojo anything because he's internet famous now. While Luguber is playing us some chill tunes live upstairs. If he falls out of the hotel bed and has breakfast and is going to be here on time, we don't know yet. Yeah. But yeah, that sounds like that's the plan, and we'll see how that works out. Yeah. And then Dojo, walk us through the compos, please. The list is too long for me to grasp.
I've got this comprehensive list of compos over here, and holy crap, are we going to have compos today? We're going to start with music compos, executable and streaming both. Then we'll dive right into graphics compos. We'll have modern graphics, fast graphics, probably the paint over. We'll have edible graphics, old school graphics. Then we'll jump into the wild compo, where anything goes. Followed by the animated GIF, where people write visualizations to Kokio and Finsprit. Followed by the paint over compo, where the deadline was like last deadline of yesterday. And then we'll slowly move into all-in-one territory with the game compo, the 4K intro compo, the combined 8K 64K intro compo. Then we'll have, say the word,
Amiga
demo, followed by
Atari.
PC.
The Atari demo compo.
Yeah. And last compo of today, last compo of the party, is going to be the glorious PC demo compo.
And then that's just a couple of the compos. I mean that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Some amount of compos.
1 billion, I think, is the tally.
And we have some music in between. We have Wayfinder entertaining us
that's gonna be so
before
good.
the last compo block. And we have Dojo finishing off the night.
Who's that?
I don't know. It's some random dude from the internet who's going to play live from the Zeitraum Lounge here upstairs.
Yep.
And he's going to play some probably very hard stuff while we are sleeping on the sofa upstairs. Yeah. So, and at the same time, there's going to be Compo Studio again. So, yeah. And then we have the Revision Extras channel, Dojo.
What do you have here? To get started with a seminar. NetPoet is going to take us through history and outlook on the data protection territory dilemma, which, yes, dilemma is the right word. That's a topic that's been treating us for the past, I would say years. 10, feels like 10, I think it was less, but still. We'll move on to the next seminar, which is Ideas, Tech, and Goals between TAOHC.
That's the art of hard coding, was it? Or hardcore? I think it's the art of hard coding. Mr. Pett.
I should have researched this.
Yeah.
Mr. Pett is going to talk us about Can Geeks Dance? I think the answer is no, but we'll see.
We'll do it anyway.
Exactly.
That never stopped us.
Then we switch to our Brixel satellite, where Tenfor is going to take us through the clarinoid, which is an instrument he built by himself from scratch, and he's going to tell us all about it. And I've been watching the build, and he's been posting pictures of the build on Twitter as it was progressing. It's an about year-long project of his, and I am super interested in seeing and hearing what came out by now.
Okay.
Next up, we're gonna have a seminar, which is doesn't have a name here, but I can guess that Jens Schoenfeld is going to talk to us about the ACA 123X, an Amiga accelerator card, and is it any good for demos?
Yeah.
Then the Edison satellite in Stockholm is going to talk to us about.
No, they're not talking. They're just playing music. It's a concert.
Oh, that's the third DJ set today.
Yeah, exactly.
So we're going to have a chip music DJ set with syntax error.
Yeah, and then as we already said, the Compo Studio.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a lot of content today. And I am already ready to go back to bed again. Not because it's going to be boring, but because I'm just still tired from yesterday.
Yeah.
When did we go to sleep, Dojo? Like 4:30 again? 4-ish?
Earlier than yesterday.
Earlier
than last time. The day
that
before.
didn't help, though, did
you
it?
know what I mean. But barely earlier.
Yeah.
But it was about 4. We had about
4.
5 hours of sleep. I had about 5 hours of sleep. Don't know about you.
No.
No.
Ish, maybe 4.5 or something.
I
Yeah, that's fine because tomorrow afternoon we can just die.
This is fine.
Yeah. So, yeah, and we're gonna have something interesting for tomorrow because we saw people making a lot of fun of Dojo, which I like. So on Discord they were like,
Me too.
he was memified, and there was a lot of fun stuff happening with him. So tomorrow we're gonna have a meme time review, and we're asking you to come up with revision memes, Dojo memes in particular. And
Don't forget the guy to my right.
Exactly.
He needs memes too.
Oh.
Oh.
So you can tag it with revision meme and post it at revision party on our socials. Hopefully we're gonna have a fun time because anything goes, especially Dojo. If you want to see Dojo without pants, you can make that happen. I mean, not in real life, but or like
Just apply the inverse pants filter in Photoshop.
yeah, it's an Instagram, yeah. Or if you want to see Dojo with a 6-pack, I'm pretty sure there's a Photoshop for that.
I would like to see. I
So
shouldn't
anyway,
say that.
anything goes. Revision meme time tomorrow before the prize giving, so we can have some laughs and wake up. Highly appreciate it if you want to submit something with hashtag revision meme and our socials at revision _party usually. Yeah. Okay. And we are right on time. It's 11:15. That was the 15 minutes allotted for a recap and preview.
We actually made it through.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I hope we are ready for a panel discussion with Jeenio PS and Inverse Phase.
Woo!
So if we can do that would be great. The
What
robot
says yes?
said yes.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Yo.
Hello.
Oh,
Inverse Phase
you're
feels like it's still in
looking like
bed.
you just woke up, which I
I'm,
guess it's true. Or you're still awake.
That is correct. Yeah. It is
like
5
6 a.m. for
here
you?
in the U.S. 5.
Holy
Yeah.
poop.
It's 15. Give me that extra 15 minutes. I'm gonna need it. But,
It's great to have you
you know.
here. Yeah, and PS and Jeenio, hey there. So
Hello.
is Portugal at the same time than Central Europe, or is it
No.
like the UK time?
UK time. We're 1 hour behind you.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, you're so already way past lunch.
Weren't we supposed to be in Paris? No. It's 1 hour behind. Like it's 10:15 for us.
Yeah.
So we had to wake
that's
up
true.
really early. Like, not as early as in first phase, of course.
Yeah. I don't time.
I appreciate
so
your
no idea.
sentiments.
I think Inverse Phase didn't realize the time difference was in his disfavor when he agreed to the panel. He was like,
No,
"Oh,
I,
it's 5
I
hour difference.
definitely
That's
knew.
great." Okay.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
no, I
so-
realized I would hate myself in the morning.
You're going to help yourself the whole day.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Exactly, yeah. So yeah, anyway, thank you for joining us. And yeah, revision this year is a kind of a hybrid. I'm not sure if it has been done before. I don't know. At least the scale hasn't been done before. We have 16 satellites, and we have we don't have a centralized location at revision itself. I mean, we are distributed over at least 6, 7, 8, 9 locations, just the organizing team. So we have like about 20, 25 points of contact that have to be centralized in some way or another to make a coherent show and party. And yeah, the idea that we came up with for this panel was, especially for like people in the US, that might be very interesting to hear, or like the Portuguese. You're far off most demo parties if you're not doing your own. And yeah, the question we're going to explore is if this concept, A, did it work for you so far? And B, is it something that you can see taking place more than once? And even be integrated with an actual on-site bigger demo party where content is fed by satellites from people who are not able to travel, or it's too far, or there's financial restrictions, or we still have theoretically we still have a pandemic. We have war looming at our doorstep, so travel restrictions might be applying in the future, like in the longer term future. And so, yeah, the question would be, what do you think about the idea? How does it work for you? And what can we do in the future for this? Yeah. So, Inverse Phase, what do you think? How does the satellite concept work for you so far?
So we've been having a blast. I don't know if you saw the photo yesterday, but for Saturday, our venue, we had just like a medium-sized classroom at our museum facility, and so I was capping it at about 32, but I would argue that we broke capacity and probably had about 40 people at the peak. So you judge success only by the amount of people in the audience, then it was a huge success. Now, was everyone happy? Of course. And we got the snacks that were graciously sent by D.Fox, and probably maybe prepared by, did you hire some slave labor to,
Strix
do that? Or, but no, we've been, enjoying ourselves. We have 2.5 whole demo parties here in the U.S., so this makes a solid 3. I think that satellites for revision, but so I don't know if you know of the Xylem demo team. He made a very solid point that it's really not a substitute for being in a hall with thousands of people,
Sure.
Everyone cheering and yelling at demos and that sort of a thing. Certainly, we had some oohs and ahs as the compos went on and whatever in the room, and it is, since it's close knit and intimate here, like that adds to the ability, and you can still look around the room and see what people are working on, and
Right.
the feeling is there, but that still doesn't. We watched after everything ended, because it's only like 9:00 here. When the stream ends, so we sat around and watched live demos from previous years and that sort of a thing.
Yeah.
So that people could see, what is it like being at a real demo party, or, whatever, which I'm sure someone's going to have that attitude. But, it's important to have that context, because I think that you don't really get that here. You can, Demo Splash, had a triple-digit number of registrations, and at Party this year was, like a dozen people, but in the past has been like 80 people at its peak, so not too bad. But it's it's not 1,000 people. Like that's
Sure.
I think that's a completely different experience.
Yeah.
I think you may have heard from some of the revision staff goes to MagFest in the US, which is a 20,000 person event.
Yeah, that's
Quite a
crazy.
maybe even a different experience than Revision, not just because video games, but also because it's, like an order of magnitude more. But I can tell people here to use that as sort of a basis, or like what going to a Magfest concert would maybe be more like going to Revision or the LAN or something like that, to give them some sort of idea of what it's like. And of course we can watch the live streams, but so we know that it's not the real thing, but
yeah, sure. I mean,
certainly
the
we enjoy the
idea.
Yeah, the time difference is
especially hard for for you, I guess, to be able to enjoy it and have the atmosphere that we have when it's 2 a.m. and we are exhausted from like dancing or drinking or something, and it's early afternoon for you. That must be a bit weird, obviously, but I'm pretty sure our Australian friends are thinking the same. And the same is when Syntax Party is on and I try to watch the stream and it's like everybody's happy and I'm just at breakfast. It's like, what, compo's over? That's just how it is.
Yeah, that's time zones for you.
Yeah, and I think that explains also that the world is not flat. Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, it's not?
It is, I guess it's not, yeah. So, PS and Jeenio, what are your initial thoughts about this?
Yeah,
how does it work for you?
Just about the Australian people, I was actually poking people to do satellites for Revision, and one of the main issues that they had was the time difference. First, because Easter for them is actual family holidays, not demo scene family holidays. But the time difference is just a killer for them, because they have to stay up until 5 a.m., 6 a.m. just to watch the main compos. So it's a bit big detractor from having that stuff. But for us, for example, I remember when we had the Inertia demo party happening at the same time as Australian demo parties, and we used to actually watch their compos live in the morning at Inertia, because it was morning for us and it was late night for them. So we would actually be seeing their compos, and then we would have ours afterwards. And they were like, "Okay, we're going to bed." I'm like, "Oh, we stayed up for yours." What's up with that? Yeah. But going back on track about the satellite concept for us from Portugal, at least for me, I'll speak for myself first and then Jeenio can speak for himself. We always had the thing that if we're not organizing a demo party, then we have to travel a long way to have one. And even when we organize one, it always feels like we are in the middle of the organization, so it's hard to have fun, or a little bit more stressful than it is when you travel to another demo party. So for us, having streams is like a lifeline. Like it's how we stay connected with the rest of the demo scene. So in that aspect, COVID was kind of good, because it made a lot of parties start paying attention to the live stream and the quality of the live stream. And it's not just, oh, we'll throw a video feed at you and it may work, it may not work. Now people actually pay attention to that. So in that aspect, it was really good. Of course, on the humanitarian aspect, it was terrible. But there are some benefits. And it was one of the points that I was thinking when I was thinking what to speak on during this panel, was that we should try to take a bit more advantage of these live stream events, that we could do other things. We are still trying to replicate the original demo party that we go physically on, which is a model that was created in the late 80s and early 90s. Why are we replicating that exactly? Why aren't we innovating on that concept and trying to do something more using today's technology and the connectivity that we have? We could do so much more than doing just a weekend, of continuous hardcore partying stuff. So that's my feeling, and that's a bit what I tried to do with Inertia 2020 when I was main organizer. Try to have it like, I think it was throughout the entire month, different seminars, trying to hype up the stuff and try to explore that a little bit. Of course, we always have a skeleton crew at Inertia, so it's impossible to really explore that fully. But it's an idea that I've been brewing and talking with other party organizers, that it would be interesting to have some sort, I don't know, conference sort of thing, or like different recordings or premieres of stuff that you could do, like explaining technical parts of the demo scene, explaining what is the history behind demo scene, people giving talks, not just being crammed into a single weekend, but more throughout the entire different length, and just being available online. Yeah. So Jeenio, what are your thoughts on the whole thing?
Yeah, I totally agree with PS. I think there should be a little bit of a reconfiguration of what these online events could be. In the topic of having this online, let's say, flavor, even when we are doing physical events, I think it's even for us, it's a question of survival of the demo scene because um, nowadays seniors are getting older. The amount of new blood that is coming to the scene doesn't really top the older people. So yes, exactly. So the demographic decline, as we say. Anyway, this is something that it has to be addressed, and to have an online event is always something that is easy to follow. It's easy to go on social media, easy to go on Twitch or on whatever platform, and I would say for us here in Portugal, in the tail of Europe, as we we always say, it's a lifesaver. Really, it's a lifesaver. We've been. I mean, PSF has gone to many more than me, but I've been to many demo parties. But because of family, work, time constraints, now COVID, also war, it's really a lifesaver. It's really something that helps me to experience other parties. And without it, I would not be able to go. Just simply like that.
And a lot of seniors in Central Europe, like in Germany and Hungary, they hate the online thing because they're so used to having a demo party. For
Yeah.
them, demo scene means having to be physically there.
Yeah.
And they don't feel like doing entries. They don't feel like looking at the stream because they're so used to. They've been spoiled. They've been spoiled by having a demo party at a few kilometers from their home for all these years. So they feel like now they feel very bad that they can't physically be present, and they hate the online experience. I had some talks with a lot of people, well, a few, that completely hate this. And on one side, it's because COVID is so horrible and annoying that you can't, have the freedom that you were used to. But on the other hand, it's really the being so used to being physically there that you associate the demo scene with the physicality of meeting the other people, the other seniors and stuff. And for us and for myself, like usually I only meet other demo seniors like 3-4 times a year. And even here in Portugal, we only have a few occasional meetings when we organize. It's either me organizing or Jeenio organizing that we have something happening. So it misses that dynamic. Like for 22 years that I've been on the demo scene, more than 22 years, 25 years, all the demo parties in Portugal, there were 2 that were organized that it wasn't me organizing them.
Yes.
For like 25 years, like, okay, someone else please do something. So there's
Yeah. So I just want to say that like connecting this urge to have physical events and also the demand of having these events transmitted to people who cannot be here. This is something that we cannot lose. We cannot lose as organizers. We cannot be just, okay, COVID is over, so there's not going to be any live streams anymore. I think the survival of demo scene depends on this format. That's my humble opinion.
Quickly talk about the point, PS, that you made, that a lot of Central European demo sceners are annoyed and bored with online parties. I kind of get that, but my problem is more is not like that I want to be at a physical demo party. Obviously, I do, but for me personally, COVID was the past 2 years was kind of a reset for myself, because before I was like visiting 10 to 12 parties a year, which was awesome, but also extremely exhausting from a mental capacity, because I am an introvert at heart, and going to a demo party always took a lot of push. But once I'm there, it's great. And the other problem with online demo parties is I have a hard time dedicating a whole weekend to demo watching while being at home, because I don't feel immersed. And obviously, it's a different category
exactly
now.
the immersion that you're
The
talking
immersion
about.
is missing, and I get that totally. And so I have a hard time gluing myself in front of a TV for 10 to 15 hours. And the other thing is, PS, your idea of having an event spread out over weeks or months where you have 1 or 2 hours of stream each day would be much easier for me to consume. I'm speaking personally now, because I am that's the amount of time I could dedicate myself to each day to do that. And Dojo, we can ask about your opinion.
And also have like the recordings available, so you don't have to be either you're there or you miss it. And that's one of the things that I get so pissed off about VODs not being available. Like I've talked about this so many times. I don't even want to get into it again. But you should, if you're streaming something, make the content available so you don't force the person to be there looking at that precise moment, because time zone differences, because people might not be available because they have a kid talking at them at that particular time, and then you miss it, and then you're gone, and everyone else is talking about what happened. You want to check what happened, you can't check what happened because you don't have the video, and it's just
Relax.
Yeah.
Take the pills.
But
So,
I guess
for me,
people
like,
people complaining about the online only aspects are maybe a bit too short-sighted in terms of, Jeenio, what you said, like survival of our community in these times, or in the times of disconnected, why we're disconnected,
But if I may provide another perspective, it's like, for me, it's what meeting people is one reason why I visit demo parties. Watching demos is another reason why I visit demo parties. But one of the main reasons that I personally visit demo parties is that it's a complete parallel universe, and I move out of my normal world. I move out of my home, out of my work environment, out of everything, and I enter this giant, glittery, exciting parallel universe that's full of adventure, full of colorful soap bubbles, interesting music,
colorful people,
interesting people, and it's a complete different experience, a complete change of scenery, and I need that sometimes to kind of get my mind off of the daily worries, to completely rip myself out of my normal life, and that is something that I completely crave, and that I could not get with an online demo party, because that's where I needed concentrated on a few days non-stop, being sleep deprived, going around high on adrenaline all the time.
It's a different experience.
Dojo's got to get its fix.
Scenario.
Absolutely,
Exactly,
it's like
getting the fixes.
It's like a drug, and it's also and it's a drug and a therapy at the same time. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's a very good point. You made a point yesterday while we were talking about this topic yesterday night, that the satellite idea, or the concept of the distribution, is also something. It might sound weird now, but we have also a global economic crisis in terms of the planet is warming up, travel is getting more expensive, and I'm not saying that
the consequences of travel are getting more dire.
Travel is getting just different, and we might not be able to travel in 20 years because we don't have the money for it, or maybe we're not allowed to have enough planes or something because of pollution. We don't know that, and it might sound weird. Obviously, we as a demo scene, we cannot save the planet, but it might be part of the concept that we have a little less of a waste. We travel less. You said something like that yesterday. I don't completely recall it, but
it actually was this morning.
A couple of hours ago. But it might be that's a weird aspect, but it is one.
It's like it affects our CO2 footprint. It affects the time we spend on travel. I mean, think about the time you spend not just at the demo party, but getting there and getting back home.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's essentially like working from home for me. I haven't seen my office at work for 2 years now. I've been working 2 years from home nonstop, and I love it. Every day it saves me 1 hour of driving.
The commute is gone, and and everything that comes with the commute is gone as well. So
exactly. Traffic jams are gone. Anyway, but it's similar with being at demo parties. I mean, on the one hand, you do get the fix, and sometimes you need the fix, but maybe you don't need the fix 12 times a year. Maybe twice a year is enough, and the rest we can do things online.
Yeah, it's
And
one of the things that I
maybe
used.
place for
once the metaverse really takes off, which
Oh,
will
no.
happen anytime now.
You're not allowed to talk about the M word.
It's another N word, NFTs. But anyway, I was just joking.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
Inverse,
so
I was
I
told
think-
a
that
bunch
you
of
might
people
have
in the
some
Discord
insights.
just turned everything off.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, Inverse, I was told
ahead,
that
Dirk.
you have maybe some insight from other people you talked about.
Yeah, so I mean, PS mentioned Australia, so you're probably in touch with Citrix and them, and then I speak to Falcon or Mike Tedder, some in Japan, and I think Japan and well, aren't Japan and Australia fairly close? They're like within hours of each other.
Yeah, I think 1 or
Um,
2 hours, yeah.
Yeah, so
Swimming.
I think that they would suffer from some of the same problems that we were talking about earlier. And actually, the mention about Easter being a family holiday, that's actually a concern for us here too. I think that we'll get maybe half the attendance here today on Sunday because everyone is at home doing, dinner with family or whatever. I checked in with most of the people that were at the party, and I mean, probably a third of them left late last night. After the stream ended or right before it ended. Sorry, DJs. So that they could, go home and they won't be back. They'll just tune in on the live stream.
Which makes sense because we here in Central Europe we are kind of used to having an Easter event for 25 years now. So I must say in my starting with my late teens, I was never at home for Easter, and the concept is just weird. Family at Easter, sure, obviously, but it's different family. It's not my normal family.
Yeah, but and I think it might also be more socially acceptable in Europe to not be with your family over Easter.
I
And-
don't know
Yeah,
because
I
I
don't
trained
know.
my
It might
family
be.
not to care about that.
Yeah, I think that's actually very true. Training your family. A good example. I mentioned Magfest earlier. I was the organizer for 10 years, and so I had to train my family that I would not be for Christmas, would not be home for New Year's. Because Magfest happens the weekend after New Year's, and sometimes it's sliding a little bit over, in one direction or the other. So, you know, uh, it's just a crapshoot. You don't know what you're going to encounter. I do think that there is one thing that might be different about the U.S., Japan, or Australia compared to. I hear a little bit of the sentiment from Portugal over there, and we hear you and you're valid. But you mentioned feeling a little bit detached from the scene. Guess how it feels to be us? You say, "Oh, I only get to see my scener friends, like 4 times out of the year." But yeah, but you get to see like every scener 4 times out of the year, and we get to see the U.S. sceners and any European sceners or other international sceners that decide to come to the U.S. And guess how many of those there are?
Not
We
many.
have
Not many. No.
maybe 2 to 10 European sceners at any given U.S. demo. Often it's just like the one guy that decided to come from wherever.
or
So
happen to be in the area.
but actually, I also wanted to say, Dojo, your sentiment about getting your fix, I think is very valid, and what D.Fox and Dojo were saying about, so I think that the online sentiment to Echo Jeenio must continue, and because this is our outreach to the demo scene. I think that a live stream is like the way, and I think that Revision is truly the event that learned that. The attendance for Revision is what 1 to 2,000 in person.
About
But
1,000, yeah.
the
And let's say like 800 to 1,000 on location and another 1,000 online, watching the stream. Yeah.
But now, like the first year you did the Twitch stream, or not the first year you did the Twitch stream, but the first year we did online only, didn't that number like double or triple?
Skyrocketing.
It was significant.
4,000 to 6,000, depending on what we were showing.
Yeah, but like compo time was...
Compo time, Shader Showdown was amazing.
It was crazy.
And,
we made the Twitch front page a couple times, didn't we?
In the Twitch front page because we had good relations with some of the admins there. And obviously the morning show is like, but still a couple of hundred people that are watching us right now. I'm not sure how many. It's not going to be thousands.
Hello, everyone.
Because, it's early in the morning. People were up late. Yeah. And but I mean, I think Jeenio, your point about being about the survival, and for some of us, it is the only way to participate and consume.
I have another thing that I wanted to talk about, if I may, D.Fox.
Sure.
Love Bite. It's the concept that SuperO came up with. Let's make a party dedicated to tiny size intro things. And if you try to organize that physically, it would be impossible because the scene was so scattered. There is no precedent from having a demo party dedicated to special niche. But online, it made sense because it's a lot easier to organize. And he rolled it, scaled it so much. He social networked everyone who was active into the thing that it became a huge thing. It was a huge success. Both years that happened broke the number of submitted entries. And it's something that doing physically, it would be impossible to have all those submissions. And people who would come remotely would not feel like participating as much because they know that some people would be there physically and they would only be remotely. So it's one example of something that works well online and could probably not translate so well into something physical.
That reminds me of that takes me to 2 points actually. The first is quick. Just wait 5 years. I bet you in 5 years Love Bite will be an actual physical party because so many people are emotionally invested in it. If SuperO in 5 years says, okay, you know what, we're gonna do a Love Bite smack dab in the middle of Europe, people would flock to it and it would be a great event.
Yeah, that's possible.
It might be.
Yeah. And for two, what you just said also reminds me of something that we talked about this morning, where we've got this. I've made this experience at work, where I figured, hey, so many online things, online meetings, even complete multi-week online system bring-up workshops are working really, really well now that everyone's dialed in from home. And it did not work as well when half the people were dialed in from home and the other half were sitting in a big conference room, because then you'd have this big difference in communications bandwidth.
Yeah, way of communicating.
Yeah, between the conference room and the people who are dialed in, and then you'll always have this these two classes of participation. But now that everyone's dialed in, it really works well, and it's pretty much the same with online demo parties, right? If everyone's online, if it's online first and online only, then you can make a truly immersive experience for everybody. If on the other hand, you're running a big in-person demo party and we've got people dialed in as well, you always have this problem of you need to find a way to tie in all those remote people so that they still feel immersed into the party, and it's
hard.
That just isn't a problem if you do it online only.
Yeah,
and the logistics are hard if you have mixed things, because you want to pay attention to the physical people there at the party, but at the same time you need someone dedicated to look at at the online feeds where people are saying and get them connected with the physical people. So the entire logistics of the whole thing is hard. Even on conferences that people do, sometimes you see like a special person dedicated just reading the feeds and transmitting the stuff to the people who are there physically, which on most demo parties that we've seen in the past, they didn't pay attention to this. They didn't, sometimes we had seen sad people doing that bridge, and that was very, very welcome to see, and that helped in a lot of parties getting their live stream working properly. There was always some divide.
Even before, like in the early 2000s, early, like mid 2000s, we had demos in TV, Metapat, and the whole French team traveling from party to party. And with the means that we had at the time, slow internet, a lot of dropouts, and not enough recording capabilities.
I don't think they streamed that much. They mostly recorded. That's my memories.
But they also made some stream as like the people were able to give, because at the time, internet, like having a very strong internet connection was not a thing. And we didn't have H.264, we didn't have all these things. I think this really brings us, and I know I don't want to get ahead of us, get ahead of things, but this brings us to another topic. It's like, how we're going to do this, especially in places where there's no, I don't know, full HD cameras, there's no mixing experienced people, there's not. How could we provide smaller demo parties or?
It's going back to demo party as a service.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
And there have been some initiatives trying to
been.
fill up. Do you want to talk about them, or shall I?
Well, yeah, we can all talk about it. I just think like this. We were just talking about like we coined the term demo party as a service. Could be DAS.
Hello, DAS.
Hello, DAS.
I'm gonna go install MS-DOS.
And there has been some talks, especially from people from Echtzeit, and we've been talking also of how this could be something that there would be some people traveling, or even not traveling, just sending equipment, or giving some kind of
knowledge
exactly of how to do things.
It's one thing that was never properly documented is how you do the stuff that you do at your demo party, because you want to pass, if you want someone else to pick up the organizing of a demo party, you want to make sure that you are as open as possible, and you have like all the blueprints to all the stuff that you do, the schematics to connect, what is the best hardware, why you pick that hardware, why you pick that scheme, what kind of people do you need to do logistics, what are like the top items that you need to figure out, secure a place in like 6 months ahead of time, make sure you have communication, make sure you have a logo, make sure you have a web page. All of these things need to be secured ahead of time, so it's not like a week before that you're finally announcing to everyone that we have the demo party ready. So these things need to be pre-planned, and a lot of new people who would start to organize a demo party, and a lot of veterans still make a lot of mistakes on this.
True.
Like they just let things drag, and it's common, you can blame them a little bit, at least I blame them a little bit, but after doing it for a few years, you should have like a list of stuff that you need to do, when you need to do, and someone making sure that you're enforcing that list so you don't run out of time to get stuff done. And this kind of knowledge and listing of all these things should be like on a wiki page or
open source
shared documents, and people discussing them, like we do this at this party because we have a different kind of level, because it's different organizing a revision from organizing assembly, from organizing a demo party. It's very different parties. The logistics, the number of people involved is very different.
But there are some things that are similar, and they can just be passed on. Like let's say, for instance, let's say that none of us is a real web designer. So if there would be like a service that would provide websites for demo parties,
It's a web template that you can
might
change the
not be
colors,
working
slap a
on that.
logo on it.
Exactly. Yes. So, or let's say that we don't have a real compo machine because graphics card nowadays cost an arm and a leg. So maybe we could
And the kidney.
we could send the executables to a place that people would render them, run them, and then send us the videos or whatever, like having
KP as a service.
Exactly.
As a service.
So, all these things, these are resources that could be shared and could be offered as a service to smaller demo parties and demo parties that are far away. That's my idea.
Yeah. We from the Tastatur and Mouse Association, since Revision has a lot of equipment, a lot of funds, in pre-Corona times, we were actually, the compo machine was passed around Europe basically all year. It was like at 6 to 10 demo parties.
Traveling machine.
All the German demo
We
parties.
never had
were
it?
out there. We were in Belgium.
Yeah.
You could have said something. We
Censorship.
always
They
send
don't
the
care about
GPU
the
to
Nestle demo
Cossack.
party. They
And
keep
we
it
used-
inside
and
their
we used
inner
the same-
circle in Germany. Never send it to us.
Oh, yeah. Portugal is not really on our
No,
minds.
but
is it,
in
Dojo?
serious terms,
Where's
shipping costs
Portugal?
from
It's
right,
but
it's
sure,
right next to Paris.
we used
It's right
Demoscene.
next to Paris, Dojo.
Yeah,
We use Demoscene.
But
We
the
use
shipping
Demoscene
costs-
shipping actually.
The shipping
Yeah,
costs
I know
are
what the
actually
shipping to Portugal
an
costs.
issue, and it's
Yeah,
one of
but,
the things that Shayna was discussing, because Shayna was one of the persons involved in Ike site, and
Yeah.
she's been discussing with a lot of other small party organizers this idea of sharing equipment and that kind of stuff, and shipping is actually a big cost involved in something, because why would you want to, if you spend more money bring it shipped and renting it locally, it doesn't make any sense.
Exactly,
So for
yeah.
Central
Yeah,
Europe
sure.
it makes sense to have some sharing, but for more like parties like the US, it's impossible to send something from Europe without
You want to
having
send us
Yeah,
your
that
combo
doesn't make
machine?
sense,
problem.
It'll only cost the price of the machine.
That's why we. I mean, obviously, combo machine in Central Europe, we can just we bring it from party to party. So we brought it to Outline. At Outline, the Nordlicht organizers picked them up, and at Nordlicht, the Deadline organizers took them with them, because we were sharing
then-
it around, passing it around. But also we shipped it a couple of times, but it's really expensive. So for Tresac, we usually just ship the GPU and insured. Obviously, it still costs like 50 euros or something, but it is comparatively, it's better than buying a new GPU for 2,000 euros.
Yes.
And all it
especially now
takes
that
in the
it's-
end is
Yeah.
all it takes is like one senior from let's say Germany traveling to Inerthia, and they can pick up the Campo PC somewhere and
Yeah.
take it with them.
And then we have
I mean,
doubled
I'm
international
totally-
visitors.
Yeah. I'm totally
Double
open to
visitors in
that,
total.
to that
Win.
concept. But I also must say, during the pandemic, my I wouldn't say enthusiasm for the demo scene. There's a demotivational aspect to the pandemic that was driving me mad, in sense of, yeah, I can live without the demo scene. Not really, but it's like I didn't care about it that much, because other problems that come up with the pandemic and with everything around us.
Yeah, focused on
So, yeah.
other things.
Yeah, exactly. But demo party as a service, yeah, that's our main topic. And I like the idea of having a website generator. I worked on that. Cyrix and myself, we are theoretically working on a rental page for all of our equipment for years, but we didn't really have the time and the energy to finish something, because we have so much stuff. I mean, all demo parties combined in Europe, in Central Europe, we have so much equipment. We can probably just do most of demo parties with just the stuff we have. I mean,
Essentially,
apart from maybe projection
what might
and stuff.
what might help is even if we don't have this rental thing, just having kind of a central directory where every party organizer can kind
that is
of
the idea, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, I have this, and this.
Yeah. The problem is somebody has to manage it. And if Shana is able to manage that, it would be awesome. Somebody who has keeping an eye on it and pushing people to actually finish inventory or stuff, because that needs to be kind of centrally
just
organized
discussing-
in terms of somebody needs to take charge. Yeah.
And just discussing
but I
with other
would
party
welcome that,
organizers how you're supposed to do things, because one of the things that I talk with different organizers, they are completely like, they live in their own bubble in terms of organization. We do things this way because it's how we do things this way, and we know that people do things slightly different, but we don't really know how exactly they do it. So there's like a lot of reinventing of the wheel for organizing trivial things. And why are you spending your time resolving a problem that has already been resolved by a dozen other people that you are in close contact with? Why don't you just send them a mail, how do you do this? And they explain, and we put it on the wiki for other people to be able to see, and just have the information available, so that when you're organizing, you can just look at that.
A simple thing like a party system. We now have Woohoo,
Exactly.
but
I mean, that was
for years D.Fox, your party meister thing, which is a beauty, or even the Finnish guys, the
T101
system,
has a new system
Yeah,
as well that he
T101
developed
has one,
for
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or
So
Woohoo as a service.
that is basically it came exactly from that,
It
because
is.
before I did Partymeister, it was like I coded a party system from scratch 4 years in a row for different parties. It was always like throwaway code because it was so shitty, because you only had 2 days to whip something up. And the same was what Gaga was thinking for, like a smaller, like a different style of party system. And that's actually a good point about
Woohoo is
this-
more
a service that
lightweight.
can be
It's
provided.
more bare bones.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And,
it always needs like to fit some different things, so it's always hard to have an optimum thing. But one of the things that we actually during the pandemic with Woohoo is that we had to reuse and put online a new version of Woohoo again. Well, always it's based on the same. Why isn't there a service to do that? And Scene.org was doing that for a couple of parties. And then they just decided to delete it and tell people, okay, you organize your own stuff, And sure, fine. That's if there's their stance. If they don't want to do a service out of that, I can understand and respect that. I know each one has their own free time. You don't want to demand things, but I think we as the demo scene should figure out a way. If someone is very versed in managing Woohoo or Partymeister or any of these systems and is willing to offer it as a service to other party organizers, I think it would be relatively easy to have a server that's always on, that can be easily reused for different parties without having to integrate everything from scratch. Figure out what kind of server you need, where you can put it online, where is the cheaper hosting that you can get for it, figure out the bugs with SQL. It's always on the same machine and it's integrated throughout the different demo parties. It would facilitate across the plane a lot of work for a lot of different people. But of course, it's always time, and we always operate in the willingness of offering your free time, and I completely understand when people don't have their own free time to give to these particular kind of projects.
Yeah, we need to work on that for years. Some of us, many of us have been trying to come up with that kind of stuff, but it's somehow, I don't know why, because theoretically we are very social and open community, but outside of demo parties, we rarely talk that much. And we could collaborate way more outside of the demo parties. And I mean, obviously, I come back from Revision or other parties energized, like, yeah, I can do stuff now. I have so much energy and enthusiasm.
But 1 week
3 days later,
and then it's back to work.
3 days later, you have to go back to work, and life is shit again. And then
next revision,
you
I'll
drop
think of
those things. Yeah,
You know what we need to do?
a demo party.
That and demo party, and then take 2 weeks of vacation right after the demo party.
Yeah.
That is, and I mean, really, that is
Yeah. I
something
mean,
I should do.
some people do that. Like, take
Yeah.
1 or 2 weeks off to just work on demo scene related stuff. Like I did it a couple of times with the Farbrausch people at the Elite House, which is improperly named currently, I guess.
We have
But
an
it was
elite
2
house
weeks.
here in Portugal as well. It's Jeenio's place.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what I mean is, like, do that, but do it right immediately after a demo party. When you come out of the demo party super stoked, full of ideas, and then you take the 2 weeks to actually go and
If that
implement.
is possible, yeah. As an organizer, there would be 3-week vacation. It can be hard for some employers.
Okay,
yeah.
but for somebody who just visits the demo party, I think.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
I
but
want to go back
too
to
much time to take away from real life.
Probably.
It's almost like a
Yeah.
whole month, because you want a few weeks before to prepare entries or organize the party, and then a few weeks after to wrap up the party and figure out the stuff that is missing links, and you end up with a whole month away from work, which is impossible for most people on this earth. So that's the problem.
Unfortunately.
If we only didn't have to work and we could focus solely on demos, this would be so much better.
Or have
Yeah.
family.
just
Why do
This is
people
the
have family? Stop
capitalism
having
everybody's
family. Do
talking
more
about.
demos.
Yeah, I wanted to touch another point, which I'm seeing now at Revision. We have, if you look at the Revision extras, or what you guys in Lisbon did with the shader showdown, I like the idea of content being produced not centrally. I mean, sure, at Revision we don't produce it centrally as well, but have more like visitors involved into the creation process, which you did in Verse. In Verse Face, you did the museum tour and the Q&A, and that is also, I think, an interesting idea to get people not just consuming like I said for myself, a whole weekend of just consuming, I just can't do it. But if I would have the opportunity, let's say if there's Inertia demo party and I can hold a live seminar or like talk to people, I would be much more willing to invest that time because I would be actively participating and be a co-creator of this event. Not that I need to co-create, but I think giving the people at the real demo party, sometimes you get inspired and you just make a fast compo entry or you just make music at the bonfire. At online parties, it's very hard to do so. But the idea of 16 satellites participating and having content streamed to the audience, I think it's a cool idea, and it might be the kind of immersion that we're currently missing from the online demo parties. At least that's my take on it. But I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Sure.
Inverse, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's fine. I think that the extra stream is great, and I'm honored by the opportunity to participate. I don't know if it's the right solution. It is a solution, and it's a decent solution. The problem that I ran into, and I think it's unavoidable, so, I'm not blaming anyone, but the Bloop Museum tour, for example, was right up against a bunch of major compos that everyone wanted to watch. So at a real live demo party, I would have had the opportunity to pop into a seminar and to pop out and pop over to the compos and whatever. And yes, I can tune into a stream and pop into another stream and switch back and forth, or maybe even, have both streams up on my screen at the same time or something. But I feel like there's something that is lost, maybe in running an extra stream. You're dividing people's attention, and I think that people can't context switch quite as fast when they're live streaming at home. Now, that it is possible that there are people out there that just flick through streams like they're hitting the clicker on a remote control, and they go back and forth all the time, and that's those people are probably valid. Oh, look, the sun is rising, by the way.
I've been watching that all the time. It's beautiful.
But anyway, I guess my biggest point to make is simply that I love the idea of content being produced by multiple people. I think that the multi-stream was pretty cool and excellent. You could just tune into a whole bunch of satellite streams and just watch people hanging out at all of the parties, and I think that's really cool. I've really enjoyed the satellite check-ins. I enjoyed talking to Subi and seeing everyone check in from the different locations and everything. I do think that there should be more content creation from the satellites or from remote in general.
We were pretty late to that concept because we had so much to do in preparation of everything. So I would love to have it. We had the idea months ago, but the preparation, the logistics behind it, the streaming solutions, all of that stuff had to be figured out. So we could only announce it properly like a week and a half ago. I would have loved to told every one of you that this is possible like a month ago, but we weren't sure that we could pull it off. And I get the division of attention is a complicated topic, obviously. But maybe that's where PS's idea could come in. If you spread out a demo party or like a demo party, you do a month of demo making or something, and every day there's like 2 or 3 events, and so everybody can produce stuff, and you still could have weekends where like big events or like big competitions happen. Like you could have a weekend dedicated to tiny intros like Love Bite. You integrate this in a whole festival month or something, and then you wouldn't have to be dividing your attention that much because you would have something every day, every 2 days. I mean, it's a concept I would love to explore further. But that's probably diverging too much right now. But it's an awesome.
There was one other point. Sorry to interrupt. There was one other point that I wanted to make, and that is that I think we had a pretty rocky start as far as people that were providing content I had a laptop lock up, so like the problem with my presentation was on me. But I think especially on Friday, I feel like so I didn't participate or contribute any content to revision last year or the year before, but this year I think by taking on content coming in from now we're suddenly taking content coming from 20 or 30 sources instead of maybe half a dozen. I don't know if we were ready for that. Like
I understand. Yeah.
just on a basis of I mean, just like glitches in the streams and like people getting cut off and like switching from one source to another and whatever. And certainly everyone doing engineering has been an absolute pro, but we like I think that it's possible that I've missed even minutes of someone's presentation because like of some sort of connection issue or something like that, and also because of the possibly this is mostly the last minute nature of things, but I can speak as an organizer. It is certainly difficult to coordinate that many people across the globe to all have the proper credentials and information to connect and information to participate and whatever. And as long as you're on your game, it's a good idea. It should happen. But if you can't accomplish that, then I'm not saying you shouldn't try, but it's definitely not going to come off as pro.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is the first time we're doing this, and it's gonna take a while to figure things out. But I don't think
it's been
the
amazing.
wrong direction. It is a direction. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. We have about 2 minutes left. Jeenio and PS, do you have any thoughts on the local content creation aspect of this?
I do. I just want to point out that like outsourcing content, it's not a new thing. I mean, it's a new thing for online parties, and it just makes sense. But every demo party had seminars from people that were not on the organizing team or were not even from that country. Like we had, every major demo party you can think of, there would be seminars from people, all around Europe. We had concerts from people coming from, other countries and other continents sometimes. And so this really not only, like you said, D.Fox, it brings the people to get more involved and immersed on the experience, but I think it also gives the opportunity for organizers to, just chill out a bit, enjoy the party. And this is, I think, really, really important, man, because I'm watching you guys there, and you're doing a great job as always. But it must be tough not be able to sometimes to just step out. Okay, now I'm going to just enjoy the party for a bit. I think also, and picking up what Inverse Face said, I think it's really important to, like my good friend Liqube, which is standing there, just very shy, not saying hi. Something about focus, we always talk about.
The hell?
Okay.
Liqube, come say hi.
All right,
Hello.
say hi.
I'm shy.
Hello.
Hi.
So
Couch party is the real party.
yes, it's something about focus. Like if you're watching a stream, of course you can always flick and change every channel as you want if you prefer to watch something. But the point is, you lose focus and you lose the whole continuity of the party. And
I remember trying to watch multiple demo parties happening on the same weekend. I had all 4 of my monitors, one party on each one, and it was really hard to follow all of them.
But I support content being created from other parties, and I think it's really important. And we for sure want to have that for Inertia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I mean,
we're out of time, so we'll let you go.
but,
thanks for having us on the panel. I think it was a very
yeah.
interesting discussion.
Maybe PS. This is maybe a topic that we can cover in more detail in one of your shows in the future, because I would love to explore this more and just keep the conversation going. because
Yeah,
I think
sure.
it is going somewhere interesting, definitely. And maybe in a year or two we find out that it was bullshit, but I still
Yeah.
think it's worth
Could be.
exploring it a bit
And
more.
we're
Yeah, at least let's
if we're
give
good
it a
at one
try and
thing,
see what
it's
happens.
exploring ideas, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you, the 3/4 of you, for participating in this discussion. It was very interesting. I would love to talk about this. I could talk about this for many more hours, but yeah, we have to kind of get on with the program. So thanks again to Lisbon and to Baltimore for being here with us, and hope you have a good rest of revision. And we'll probably see you in the satellite hopping, which we forgot to announce because I think it wasn't a timetable yet. But there will be another satellite hopping
cool.
with Sabi tonight, I'm pretty
Awesome.
sure. And then we'll see you then. So thanks again, and see you later.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
So wow, it is so
It is
interesting.
absolutely, yeah.
I could talk about this really all day.
Yeah, I mean, we could have spent the next week.
And
We could have spent an
definitely-
entire campus studio on
Yeah,
this.
and I'm pretty sure quite a lot of people would completely disagree with what we just talked about, because as PS
Another
said,
billion people would agree.
Yeah. I mean,
So,
just
I mean,
because, like PS said, some of us are too complacent here in Central Europe because we have so many parties. We have like 30, 40 parties. We could go to a party every
Yeah,
weekend
yeah.
for the whole year. And that makes you maybe complacent and lazy because, and then obviously I don't want to watch an online party. But we maybe we can discuss this further in the Compo Studio or like in the future in the
Just
stream or something.
open a pivot thread about it.
Oh no, I am not. So now we should be ready for an Ask Me Anything. We need to get our iPads ready to see if there are any questions.
My iPad
And
was born ready.
Luguber is playing playing some tunes for us. So I hope he's also ready and he can. I need to do the different sheet. He can entertain us while we are figuring out what we're gonna answer. Yeah.
I love
Okay.
the questions already.
I will need to go there. Where do you?
I have it's not a spreadsheet, it's a doc.
It's a doc, okay.
Yeah.
Docs.
But I could start fielding the questions. I could start reading out the question to you.
Yeah, because I have this page. And if I click on it,
Oh,
it doesn't go there.
interesting.
It is a spreadsheet, okay.
It is now a spreadsheet. Oh, so then my apparently didn't update for me. But yeah, I've got
Okay.
that question I've got here. So Tobak of SLP, congratulations again on your nomination. Asks what are our personal favorite demo platforms? I know your answer.
It's the Amiga, obviously.
Amiga.
Particularly, it might also be an unpopular opinion, the Amiga AGA. That is my favorite demo platform. Not that I have personally done anything with it.
Yeah, but it's
I still plan to do an
it's a
Amiga demo
beautiful-
but yeah, when I'm old and grey.
Yeah, I've actually, this is, I just a few months ago started delving really into playing with Amigas for the first time in my life, really. I've never owned an Amiga before, but that guy
That's yours, yeah.
up there is my personal A1200, tricked out halfway with Flicker Fixer and Trapdoor expansion, and
Yeah.
it's fun. Neighbor of mine, he's also much into Amigas, and we started tinkering with our Amigas again.
Okay.
Now, again for him, anew for me.
Yeah, I mean, Charlie asks the right question. Charlie is asking, what is your favorite platform and why it is Amiga? It's just the best platform. That's why.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have a different answer.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, well then, let's move on. My favorite demo platform is whatever interesting microcontroller platform gets broken in that year. It's like, to me, I love reading technical write-ups about how people abuse the hardware capabilities or the hardware acceleration, quote-unquote, capabilities of very, very small-scale hardware to actually produce demos and something that wasn't supposed to produce demos.
Mm-hmm. That's definitely it's an interesting take on it, because it's ever evolving and changing. I like the idea.
But it's like all this, the LFT stuff as a prime example, but also whenever people start inventing new techniques on old school platforms and all, that is
definitely
kind of the most interesting and exciting stuff to me.
Yeah. Let me read one question. Will dojoe sandals become part of the revision merchandise and available for purchase at the next revision?
They will not, because they are mine. Get your grubby mitts off my off my sandals.
Yeah. Dojo, we don't pick up one?
I still
we have so many
don't
questions.
have
It's awesome. Thank you all for submitting these questions. Definitely.
Lovely.
Yeah.
For some reason, it doesn't work for me. I'm sorry about that.
Okay. Or I can.
You gotta field the questions.
Filthy American asks, "What is your module format of choice?" I like mods in general, like Amiga mods. Or are you talking about software?
Disorder Tracker 2.
Disorder Tracker 2.
Yes, it was written by Statics back in 1990 something, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pure assembler, best tracker there is.
Okay.
And the only tracker I ever really learned how to use.
I only use Pro Tracker actually. Yeah, that's it. And Mod Plug Tracker. I mean, for when I was not using an Amiga anymore, but I never did serious music. Yeah. Helmut is asking, how much are you just a moderator or an organizer? Is there been a role shift, or has it been added on top?
That's gonna net two very different answers.
Yeah, Dojo, maybe you start.
For me, it's I am mostly just a moderator. I help out in the background.
A lot. Yeah.
I am pretty, especially in the beginning, I'm very busy with Meteoric stuff, and then later I prepare DJ sets and all. But that's mostly voluntary, and people ask me for something, I help out. But other than that, I'm not really mainly an organizer.
Yeah, and
Now for your answer.
the first 2 years of Revision Online Dojo was cooking for us, making breakfast, bringing us drinks, because Draug and I were very busy. Because my role is not just a moderator. I really enjoy being a moderator.
I enjoy being a moderator with you.
Yeah, it is one of my favorite things during the pandemic is doing this with Dojo. Yeah, and but usually my role at Revision always has been, or the plan always had been, that I am mostly involved with most of the preparation aspects, like the months before, like setting up the website, the Partymeister, the app. That's usually my work, and doing merch and discussing with the invitation crew. I do a lot of the background organizing. But once revision starts, usually I hand this off to Styx and Messi and Madame, who are doing the actual on-site stuff, and I'm there for emergencies or like solving conflicts or something. So at Revision Online, my only role would have been, because I am there's not many problems I can fix in the streaming world, because I have no idea about that. So my only role would have been managing Partymeister, and that's usually a solved problem when the party starts. And we were talking about who's gonna host this, because Moki that doesn't have time. Oki is Oki, and he'd done this moderation stuff a lot of times. And since Dojo and I, we live quite close together, we just decided that we could do this. But yeah, for me it's on top. For you, it's basically your main job. What am I doing?
Unlock this real quick so I can get back into the.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Name I cannot really pronounce. YNMQNRM asks, what is your favorite and least favorite thing about hosting Revision? My favorite thing about hosting Revision is hosting Revision. It's the time I spent here with Dojo, the time I spent talking to people, even if it's just staring at a camera.
Yeah,
I really like it, and I also liked hosting bits at the real Revision, but this is something I really enjoy.
Yeah, and it's also what D.Fox said, plus I really enjoy kind of interacting with you. I know that this is not just a huge Cyclops eye that I'm staring at, but it's like
It is staring also back
several
at you.
hundred people that I'm interacting with, and whenever I do silly things or make fun, it's not just fun doing this with D.Fox, it's also a lot of fun knowing that we're entertaining a bunch of people out there that we know, we love, and that is the best thing about hosting Revision to
The
me.
worst part about hosting is there a worst part? Yeah, I guess for me personally it is, I have no influence and I cannot, it sounds maybe a bit too arrogant, but I cannot help any of the other people, which is usually my role. Part of my role at a real life revision is like I'm trying to facilitate everybody to do their work, but while I'm hosting and while I'm disconnected from everybody, I cannot really do that. So that is not to say that people don't know how to solve their problems, but sometimes I act as a tiebreaker if there's like a conflict or if there's like a decision that has to be made, and that's usually Stux and mine and Madame's job.
Yeah.
And while I'm here in the studio, we don't get the kind of info. And so if there's a problem in the background, I love to fix things, but here I can't because I am here. I'm having a different job here. Yeah. That might be for me personally the worst.
Yeah,
the worst thing.
you can't be an Orga while you're a host.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
For me, there is no such thing as a worst thing about being a host. I think the worst, very much quote unquote thing about being a host is that my time is dictated by a schedule.
Yeah.
And that is really a very, very weak worst thing.
Weak worst thing. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So no, it's a lot more worth than its trouble.
Yeah. And also we hope that you can hear Laguba playing in the background. I'm not sure if we have a camera feed of him. If we do, we can also show him while we answer questions. Does your tablet work again?
Now it works again.
Now
Yes.
it works,
Thank you for the
okay.
hotspot.
Yeah, so what is an interesting question here? Xtreme is asking.
I have one that I
you
need
have
to
one?
answer.
Okay, sure.
Fizzer, yes.
What is
Next
the question? What is the question?
The question is, the game up there in the N64, that is actually Tetrisphere. It is the only N64 game that I own, and I love it. It is the only N64 game that I play, really, because I love it to bits. A friend of mine, back in the 90s, a friend of mine had an N64 when it was brand new. He always had every console when it was brand new. He was super spoiled.
Yeah.
And we were playing, he was booting Tetrisphere on it, and the music in that game completely blew me away. We knew about, and it's a demo scene thing really, because we knew about, for example, the N64, it's got a pretty good synth in it. And all of the games have very nice music, and maybe they have samples and whatnot. Tetrisphere was completely it was on a different planet altogether, and that's because it used mod music. The guy Neil D.Fox,
Yeah, okay.
unknown name, but he composed all the music in Impulse Tracker. Then they converted the Impulse Tracker modules into the patterns and a single sample bank that would serve all of those modules. And it was very, very good electronic music coming out of a ROM cartridge. And it was a first and pretty much an only thing on the N64 back then. And the game was pretty good too, but what really astounded me was the music, and I played the game mostly for the music.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I don't know the game, so you have to show me at some point.
I will.
I have a question here from Hedge Wizard. It seems complicated to set up and run the streams, not only with all the different feeds, but only to show the right stuff at the right moments. Could you describe how it all works? I couldn't. Cyrix was explaining a bit yesterday. Yeah. We have a lot of people working on this in the background. We have a huge multi-view screen. I'm not sure if production can show it again. I think we showed it for a couple of seconds yesterday. So basically we have all feeds from everybody coming into the central location in Helsinki in the assembly studio where people are sitting. I think it's mostly CGI and iMink and Czar. They see all the feeds, they get all the audio stuff, and they have to route it to the specific stream out and mute and unmute audio stuff. And also we have a whole team of other people who are trying to coordinate this. So we have a director. The director is telling you when to push which button and when each content is coming. Then you have a broadcast engineer who is actually pushing the buttons. Director telling you which buttons to push. The broadcast engineer pushes the buttons. We have a production coordinator, which is who is organizing all the people around, like Jeenio and PS in Lisbon and Inverse Phase in Baltimore, and when the satellite hopping is later today. All of these stuff is coordinated and talked to with the production coordinator. Then we have the stream QA, who's watching the stream and telling us if our mics are broken or too loud or too quiet and all that stuff. There's so many people involved. Here you see the multi-view. That is what what our broadcast engineers are looking at, and I cannot imagine how this works, but it is very complicated, and we're doing an awesome job at this, because most of us, as we also talked about yesterday, are not professionally doing this, and this is a hobby, and
it's like the demo scene. Like it's a hobby,
scene,
and we're for a hobby we're pretty good at it.
Kind of good at it, yeah.
Yep. And one thing that you said kind of made it spurred some thoughts in my head when you said we have like the stream engineer and the stream coordinator and then the executive director and all. It all sounds very much like this this picture of the one guy down the hole shoveling and the billion managers standing around the hole, but it's really necessary.
Everybody is working on it,
because it's really, when you're down in the hole shoveling, you concentrate 100% on shoveling or on pushing the right buttons and fixing problems that arise with the stream and monitoring all the knobs, and you don't have the mental capacity to think about, okay, what comes next, how do I react to sudden changes in the schedule and whatnot. That's why the guy at the buttons has someone sitting virtually next to them telling them which buttons to click, and the guy telling them which buttons to click, they kind of keep an eye on the schedule and they think about that and then just translate it into, now please put that stream on, now please put that stream on, and that's how we turn one limited human mind into a Borg hive mind.
What also is interesting, we have an in-ear piece. We get a robot voice telling us how many minutes we have left. Right now we're looking at a screen which has like some notes on it, but part of the notes are currently covered by our own video feed. So I'm going to go over there and move the picture around so we can read the question. It is
right. Go right ahead.
Just a second.
In the meantime, I am going to answer another question. Question by Hyperclick. Dojo, did you know that in the rest of the world, socks and sandals are a big no, especially on live media? Yes, and I don't care.
Did you also know that he has only socks with holes in them for the whole weekend? Yeah, this is very unprofessional, man.
There we go.
So the question from Size Mist is, name one sweat drenching in a good way moment of the Meteorics/revision ever. Dojo, do you have any moment?
One sweat drenching in a good way moment of the Meteorics revision.
Well, I have one for revision.
Most concerts, really, for me, because I love dancing my ass off. Best sweat drenching moment of revision ever for me was the Bomb Joe concert.
Bomb Joe, yeah.
Where me
ago,
and Bomba,
2019,
where we played, where we did it live on You with stage, and it was the best.
Sweat drenching. I sweat a lot, so every moment is sweat drenching for me. But what was I think I can describe it as horribly exciting was when Twitch booted us off the stream last year, and we had the most intense 15 to 25 minutes I've had for a long time, and it was so awesome to get everything back up and running in like 45 minutes. That was a sweat drenching in a good way moment, even though it was a horrible moment, but it was like the rush of adrenaline that we all had from going back online in a couple of minutes. It was really, really awesome. Yeah.
And yeah, so didn't we mention the Goober? Did we mention the Goober already?
The Goober already.
But
He's right there now
yeah,
on screen.
he's right
with
there
us.
on screen
He's in
playing the music
Zeitraum
here in the
Lounge.
background.
And yeah, he's toasting us. So, Ola, thank you for doing this on short
Thank you
notice
very much.
because we coerced him
Yeah,
into doing
we
that
came up
last
with this
night.
like last night.
Well, this morning,
and
basically, yeah. So, another question. Eldroid. When you were planning and organizing the satellite network, what do you wish you known in advance? How much work it's gonna be?
I guess we did know that, didn't we?
We imagined it, but the amount of coordination necessary is incredible. And also, at least I did never expect that we would have 16 satellites. I was hoping for like 3 to 5, but then when it expanded to like more than 10, it got intense in terms of scheduling and sending out merge. Just a simple thing, but sending out merge. But sending out each satellite got 2 packages of merge, and you have to send it out throughout the world. We send stuff to the US. We send stuff to non-Schengen countries which needed customs thing.
declaration.
And then we had to do express things because we were late with the sending process. So I think we spent 2 days just shipping stuff.
And probably a shitload of money.
And it was a lot of money, yeah. Hundreds of euros in just shipping costs, like just some packages. That's not a bad thing, but yeah, the scale of the scale got up exponentially with the amount of satellites that were coming, because yeah, that's basically when we invented the extra stream, just because we had so many satellites, because we didn't think that we needed it. We only had it like for a couple of seminars the last year, and now it's filled with content provided by the satellites, and that just added a lot of extra work that we didn't account for. Because we never imagined that it would be this successful in terms of the amount of people willing to help us out. Yeah.
I've got a question here from.
That's one for you actually.
That one?
The screen. Yeah.
I've got one that I picked out in here.
Okay.
Actually, a question by Paul A. Kitching. What are your first memorable demos you remember seeing?
Well, I think the first demo I perceived as an actual demo for what it is, not just like flashy stuff on a C64, was the Buttbrain Mega demo on the Amiga.
Oh.
1998, 1990. I don't know from when it was, but that was the first demo I saw while knowing what a demo is. I saw intros and stuff and crack tracks way before, but that was the first thing I perceived as a production of a demo scene. Buttbrain Mega Demo 1 or 2, I don't know.
And because it's like, I wanted to say something different, because the Buttbrain Mega Demo, that's the first demo I remember seeing, but back then I didn't I didn't realize there was a whole scene around it. To me it was just like, that's a funny thing. He was at a friend's place, he had an A500, and he had a disc with the Buttbrain Mega Demo, and I loved it.
Yeah.
The first demo that I remember seeing as like, well, there's actually a scene around this, must be either Panic by the Future Crew, or the first one that kind of sprung to my mind was something by Cascada.
Okay.
It had the time part with Einstein scrolling through the screen.
I don't remember this one.
I don't remember either.
Year? Do you have a year?
93, I think.
Okay.
Or 91. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll just yell the name once I remember it.
Yeah, so it's been a long time ago since I'm not sure if I rewatched Buttbrain Mega Demo since then. But
I did.
You did?
I know I did.
So Agashek is asking, what is the device, the pixel frame behind my back? Dojo, that's an answer you can give.
Funny you should ask.
Because Dojo fiddled around with it the past couple of days.
It's called the Game Frame, and it was apparently a Kickstarter thing. Somebody built it. It's a 16 by 16 pixel display made out of NeoPixel RGB LEDs. You know, the ones that you can order on long strips. They're individually addressable, and they built a 16 by 16 matrix out of it. Plopped a teensy on it, and it plays animations in a special format from an SD card. And it used to play like small pre-made animations, and eventually we figured sometime yesterday, hey, wouldn't it be great if you could just put our own animations on there and customize it a little bit, maybe put the Revision logo on there or whatever. And I Googled and I figured, wait, if you screw off the back, there's actually an SD card in there with the animations on it. So I popped out the SD card, put it into an SD card reader, attached it to my laptop, and the SD card broke.
Yeah,
and literally
broke, yeah.
died the moment I attached it to my laptop. So in the end, I pulled the existing SD card out of my DS up there, figured out the animation format, wrote a converter, pulled down a bunch of nice pivot avatars, and that's what you see running in the background.
So you didn't use it
that's yours.
So you didn't use it for porn yet?
Yet.
Okay, well, it's gonna happen. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
Also, huge shout out to Nobe and Fizzer for producing the scrolling and rotating Revision logos you see every now and then.
Inverse Face has a question for me. As a self-proclaimed introvert, how does it feel being on a live stream in front of thousands of people?
So
it
awesome.
feels extremely awesome because it is also, I mean, introvert, I love being at home left to my own devices and not seeing people for weeks. I have no problem with that. But as said before, I enjoy being at a demo party. It takes me a while to get warmed up and to immerse myself, but when I'm in my element, like talking about the demo scene, within the demo scene, it's an awesome feeling, and I also love being on stage at Revision, even though it's the first minute is a horrible experience, because obviously people have expectations from us as hosts, and the same as when I'm on stage at Revision as a main orga, people have expectations, and I'm always afraid that I don't meet them. And probably, for me personally, I never meet my own expectations.
Same
but
here.
You're also introverted as much as I am.
By nature, I'm an introvert.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
But I also must say, if I would be just me in front of the camera, it would be horrible. We need two people to feed off each other's ideas and energy.
Yep.
Because if I freeze, or like Dojo froze last night, you need another person.
When?
You forgot. Oh, yeah, there was your stroke. Yeah, you need another person to take over in a second, which gives you back the confidence that you might be lacking if you're just doing it on your own.
So then why are you sitting here with me?
I don't know. You were the only one available. You were cheap. You have sandals. I mean,
You were gonna have a toe.
you have a toe. Or at least one. Yeah.
Toe confirmed.
Toe confirmed. Yeah. Dojo, there's a question for you. Oh,
How's my toe?
it just changed. Frizzer is asking, how do you organize test, running, and record on real hardware for the online editions? Separate person for each platform at one location, etc. That's an excellent question, and I don't know all the behind the scenes that are going on because Frankie is the master of the compos. But I know that Charlie is in Berlin doing the Amiga stuff. Gasman is in London at the UK satellite doing most of the old school things that are not Amiga. He's helping recording the old school music and graphics. We have Frankie here doing the game compo. He's right over there. And what else is on real hardware? We have 3 different people in Germany recording things. We have Chaos in Hamburg doing the PC demo. We have Lars at his home doing the intros, and we have Cabby also helping out with recording the PC entries and music. And there's basically everybody is basically somewhere completely different. I don't think we have 2 people in the same room doing compo recording this year. It has awesome because it still works.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
I picked out another one. Are D.Fox and Dojo in a different place this year than last year? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
The last 2 years we were recording out of D.Fox's living room, essentially. No, not essentially. We were recording out of your living room, period.
Literally my living room, yeah.
And this year we're in Saarbrücken, 5 minutes away from the eWork, at D.Fox's company offices, essentially.
Yeah, this is great because Easter in Germany is a lot of holidays, so nobody's in the office here, and we wanted a change of scenery. Just also because in my living room there's not space for a lot of people. We wanted to have more people involved because we also needed some kind of connection to people again. And is this kind of possible now since the pandemic is over? And we already floated this idea 2 years ago that we rent out a part of the EWAC. They have a skeleton crew there producing Revision Online. This was the first year that we kind of managed to do that, even though we're just 7 people here. It feels a lot different than just in my living room.
And the place is just magnificent.
Yeah,
it is
I love this
nice
place.
Here. We have great offices too. Everyone's got like a huge desk to sit on, huge screen. We all have a good place to work.
Yeah, and you will see a bit of our upstairs lounge area, self-proclaimed lounge area tonight, and dojo's playing music.
And I mean, this company is very media and video focused in parts, and so we've got a lot of equipment right here in the basement, and that's what we're using. Most of what's here in the studio is from this building.
Yeah. So what else we got?
The one on screen is pretty interesting.
Arabek is asking, what's the status of the EWAC? Won't it go out of business if the trend of not doing anything because of COVID keeps on going? They are not out of business. It is a state adjacent company, so it belongs kind of to the state, but it's a separate company. So they have like funding, and they were never doing a profit. So there was always they're doing it for culture. So the city is maintaining the place and investing in the place because it is a cultural space here in the region. And they are starting to do events again, and they did events also during COVID with the proper the precautions. If there was like a company event, they had to reduce the number of people being there, and there are concerts there again. I mean, and technically and legally we could have gone there this year. But as we explained in our announcement post, the logistics of having so many people from so many different countries there in the midst of the highest infection rates that we had during the pandemic, we would have never gotten out of it without dozens, if not hundreds of infected people, even if they're not showing symptoms. It wasn't safe. And also, we as organizers, we would have been constantly under pressure to test, to check, and to think about what's happening. If we have some positives, do we have to shut down the party? The risk was just too great. And for smaller parties, that's where we came up with the satellites. For smaller 20 to 50 to 100 maybe people parties, that's not a big of an issue. And I think just testing everybody each morning,
logistical nightmare.
So you can go into the EWAC.
Just imagine the queues.
We really asked professionals who are doing this for large events, for like football games and all. There were like 1,000 people. Yeah. You can count 3 to 6 hours until everybody's inside if you have to test them on location, or at least like ID checks from different countries even. It wouldn't have worked. Yeah, and that's sad, but I love doing this, and I hope it is at least a bit enjoyable. I mean, we talked about this in the panel. Online demo parties are a different beast, and it can feel disconnected, but it's the best we can do currently. And we'll see where we go. I hope we can be back next year. We're not stopping. That's
we won't stop. Absolutely not. By the way, Chronologia by Cascada. That's the demo from. I think it was from '91.
Yeah. Oh, a very interesting question with 2 interesting answers, I think. Blillery is asking, what's the story behind your nicknames? Dojo, why don't you start? You have a very interesting origin story.
Yeah, it's a lovely story. I started being interested in the demo scene, and eventually a friend of mine and I started kind of thinking about forming a demo group together. He was very much into coding, I was very much into coding. We never released anything, but we called our group Synthetic Dreams. He named himself the Pixel Master. He actually released a really great game back in the day. It was a Bomberman clone, best Bomberman clone I know.
Okay.
Called Pyromania. Programmed, it was like a 500 kilobyte pure assembler source.
Okay.
So he's a genius. Hey Christoph, if you're watching, I still remember Pyromania. It's been a great game. Anyway, I picked a name for myself, and the name I picked for myself was The Sheriff.
Which is the most awesome name I've heard in the past couple of years. The Sheriff.
The Sheriff. And so, why don't I have this name anymore? Very simple. Eventually, I figured, hey, there's this IRC thing going on. I should try it sometime, but I had no idea which channel to join, where are all the cool kids, and I didn't know jack, essentially. So I just fired up MRC, figured I just picked a random channel, I think, and I joined the channel. I lasted 2 minutes before I got kicked by somebody in the channel with the comment, "We don't need no sheriff." And that was the end of the sheriff.
It was your career as a sheriff.
Exactly. And so then that day I sat down and I figured, okay, I gotta pick a different nickname. What am I gonna do? And I just wrote down words and I just started writing down words and figured things that sounded nice. I came by Coco, which was like, that sounds pretty nice, but nah. And then eventually,
your stripper name.
Shush. And then eventually I came past dojo, like the Japanese dojo training place, and I figured, what if I add an E to the end of it? Well, that sounds cool. I'll keep it, and that was it.
That's your origin
That's how
story, yeah.
dojo got born.
Mine is it's very nerdy, I think.
I keep thinking that it's about dancing.
No, it's not.
Because
Disco-Fox, yeah.
D.Fox, it's a classical, at least in Germany,
No.
abbreviation for disco-fox, which is a form of dance.
Yeah, no, it's not that. I was back in the day. I was playing a lot of games on my Amiga. There we go, back to the Amiga again. There was a particular game that was very fun. That was called Jaguar XJ 2020. 220, not 2020. It was just like a racing game with a Jaguar car. It had great music, which I still like to listen to, and I love the gameplay. And you could enter a name for the player, and it was like a digit, a dot, and then a couple of characters. And I don't know how I came up with this, but this was the origin of D.Fox, because I could have like the initials, was like one character, and then 3, 2, 5. I don't know. That's just where it came from. I don't know why I came up with this. It just happened, and that's been like this for like whenever the game came out, 91 maybe. So a couple of 20 years, 20-ish years. No, more, 30 years. 91, yeah, oh god, shit, it's 30 years.
It must be about the same for me, yeah.
Yeah. Axel78 asks, what is the most hilarious moment ever happening to you on a demo party?
Blank stare.
Hilarious. I have lots of scary moments. Hilarious.
It's funny how you don't...
What is hilarious?
It's funny how for some reason you don't really remember the hilarious moments.
Yeah. What was really cool, I think, was the second revision 2012 for me. We had the Orga area upstairs, which was reserved for VIPs and sponsors and organizers. And suddenly a group of people, which I barely knew, just stormed up there. And it was Booster and Purix and Dwarf from the Tirsak demo party organizing group. They just came up with a lot of alcohol and just sat down, and we were trying to throw them out like as a funny thing, because I think it was the last day of the party and it was all right. So they crashed our VIP area. We jokingly tried to remove them from there. Then they offered us alcohol, and then we kind of stayed that way. And I think that's the year we became good friends. So yeah, they crashed the place. It was hilarious in sense of like it was so unexpected, and it was a thing where I should have been angry about because they broke our security. But it was funny in a way that we made good friends that night, and it was a lot of fun. Wouldn't say I'm not sure if it's hilarious, but it is a good moment. Yeah. You have any hilarity happening to you?
I keep drawing blanks. Sorry.
What was also hilarious is like I barely knew dojo. I think it was also the first or second revision.
Now I'm intrigued.
This weird guy came up to me like, "Oh yeah, you're D.Fox. Can I make some weird photos of you in the backstage area because we are making a game?" So this guy, we went to the backstage, and he took some photos of me, and I didn't know for what game.
I think I explained it to you.
But we didn't remember because we listened to this guy. And then you came up with the game.
It was Sticker Fixer.
Sticker Fixer.
Sticker Fixer. That was the birth of Wursthupe.
Okay, that was TS and you.
That was TS and me, and Saga Music made a little bit of music.
Yeah, because we had this huge problem with the stickers where people kind of vandalized the e-bike, and we had to pay a lot of money to fix it. And you made a game out of that.
Yeah, and TS came up with this great idea, and I spent the entire party coding a game from scratch. TS made the graphics, Saga made some music, and you provided the photos.
Yeah, that was like hilarious in a way that is. I just randomly participated in something and didn't know what it would be used for, and I think it was a good game.
And it was it was the time when I got to know you as
a person.
I still don't.
Exactly.
But where I got to know you as the guy who's the big boss type main orga, but who will do anything if it's fun. Like, für jeden Scheiß zu haben.
It has to be stupid and stupid, and I'm up for it.
And that was that completely resonated with me right there.
We didn't know each other by then, like really. But
I had
knew
played
your existence. We had to play it.
I had played the DJ set at TUM earlier, but it was pretty fresh.
Yeah, Kutzi is asking thoughts on the Chaos Computer Club. You are more versed in them as I am.
They are a great organization. I think they are doing more good for the world than many people appreciate. I think the entire hacker and makerspace movement that's been bringing us things like this display originated out of C-Base, which is the original hackerspace, which is run or very, very Chaos Computer Club adjacent. For example, they are very strong proponents of internet equality. They are very strong proponents of open source and being open about your security flaws instead of trying to hide them. So I think they are an extremely important thing for our worldwide society, along with other organizations like the Electronic Frontier Foundation and other similar projects. And if you can afford it, you should become a member and kind of support them financially. They're great people, and it's very important that they keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, and thanks again for Lucas and his crew of C3 Vogue helping us out here. And it is so awesome. Also last year when they jumped at the opportunity to help us, or at the occasion, it was we love the CCC and what they're doing,
and they love us. I mean,
I hope so.
Hackers and the demo scene have long shared resources,
values,
personnel, and values.
Yeah. So I think we have time for one more question. Felice is asking, when Revision returns back to the e-bike, do you envisage still having just under 1,000 people, or do you think there'll be restrictions of numbers for people for a good while yet? Legally speaking, there won't be a restriction on the number of people, so we will hopefully be able to fill the space as we usually are. There's two concerns though. First, there still might be travel restrictions, there might be financial restrictions. Not everybody was as lucky as maybe Dojo and myself. We could keep a stable job and could keep on working throughout the pandemic. Maybe not everybody is as lucky as that. So travel will be more expensive, definitely, because the world is changing, and it is just because less people are traveling, obviously the costs will go up. And there might even be, I don't know, but maybe we will be surprised in the other way around, that everybody wants to come to Revision, that if it's going to be back in real, in the flesh, so to say. So we might actually have to limit the number of tickets sold. So we might have to do a complete online ticketing with reservation like Assembly has, because we cannot be overwhelmed with like more people that we are legally and physically allowed to have, and like the manpower that we have to manage those people security-wise and all that stuff. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
But we are aiming to have the full revision again as soon as possible.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so there's not going to be a 200 people revision. No, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
And I think to have a fun revision, we need at least 500 to 600 people, and we're going to be legally being able to do that. But maybe not that many want to come, or maybe too many want to come.
Yeah.
That's something we need to figure out in another survey that we're going to do probably in the autumn. We the last survey we did, maybe you saw the results posted on Poet. Only about 50% of respondents were like okay or okay-ish to come. But half of people, and we had like 600 answers, were still very reluctant to come during these times. Also, I said, people with financial limitations, because we might not have a sleeping area next year at revision, because also of the pandemic still going on. So not everybody of 1,000 people will be able to afford 4 days of hotelry. So it's going to be interesting, but we will keep in touch over the summer and the early autumn to kind of see where we as a demo scene stand with having a big party again, and if we can all afford to do this. Yeah,
and we need to do this because
you need your fix. I know. Yeah. So thank you for these awesome questions. We have many more questions, but we don't have time. Maybe we have something tomorrow. But just a reminder, there's meme time tomorrow, so post your favorite memes, make some memes. Make Dojo look even more ridiculous than he already looks. Make me thin and beautiful. I would appreciate that, because it's messing in my life. And thank you.
we need a template.
Freeze frame. Okay, that's enough. you threw out my earpiece.
Oh, sorry.
And thanks again to Luguber, who's playing upstairs. And I see you in a couple of minutes.
Okay. Back in a bit.